Hey, what up guys, it's Mitsurugi. In today's video I want to talk about Mitsurugi in Soul Calibur 6. So this is basically a week 1 guide. I've been putting a lot of hours into the game, so hopefully this shall be helpful for some of you. But before I even start the video, just want to thank you for the rather positive support and feedback when it comes to these related videos, because it means a lot, because I've been playing Mitsurugi as such ever since the 90s basically. So for me to share my passion with others and, you know, seeing the positive response is something very cool. So with that being said, Mitsurugi, of course, he is back in the series, and yeah, still with his sword, and finally they got his relic stance back, which I shall get into later on. So what's the deal? What does Mitsurugi have? He has a lot of good lows, which lead into combos, into guard break, into frame trap, which we will see later on. So we can basically implement some lows from while 8-way running. So for example, this one right here, the 2-3-6, which leads also into stance. You can not cancel it to stance if you want to. The back one, as I mentioned, the step K as well, which is unsafe, I believe, but you know, it adds up. What else does he have? He has a, well, we know that Mitsurugi is a close range fighter. You want to get in and, you know, bully them close range. But for a close range fighter, rather okay range. His A is rather annoying to deal with if I put him to standing guard all and then attack me when the frame comes available. With the BB, for example, if I space it well, I can get a elite hit, for example, if he wants to, you know, counter poke as such. So the range is okay, I'd say, for a close range fighter. And one thing I've realized when it comes to people fighting me, he's rather weak to sidesteps. So they like to sidestep against Mitsurugi. His back one, sorry, wrong game. The 4A, his 4A, which is this one, is pretty okay against the sidestep. I mean, if you exploit it and sidestep down, you probably can get away with it, but I can cancel it. Right there, for example, even on block, create this frame trap and take my advantage, which is huge. You know, right off the bat, I gotta tell you guys, to master these stances as Mitsurugi is absolutely key, because these two stances hold a lot of promise. Alright, so we had the good lows, the good range, and what else is good other than the two stances, of course. His soul charge is off the charts. Absolutely off the charts, because, let me see, normal all, stands do nothing. He has a huge mix-up potential when it comes to soul charge, but not only mix-ups. It becomes an absolute danger, because this double hitting is 2-2 BB. You can cancel it into just 1. You can go with 2. The thing is, it's safe. It might even be plus. I think it even guard breaks. Wait. No, but it deals chip damage. Of course, it deals chip damage. And yeah, you can cancel it. Go only 1. But there is not really a reason to, since it's safe. That is absolutely disgusting. And if that isn't enough, of course, he can go with the low, unreactable. And this creates this huge mind game. Will he go for the low? Will he go for this one right here? Which I believe this is the one that guard breaks, if I'm not completely mistaken. Look at that. Which, of course, goes into full combo. Into a lot of damage once again, if I let him do nothing right here. Right on. Look at that. From easy hits, because this one right here becomes basically the charge version. It becomes a knockdown. And yeah, of course, if I want to swag on him. And this won me so many games, this right here, for example. I mean, look at the damage. That is just disgusting. Absolute filth. I mean, when Mitsurugi activates, you can go in, and you better go in hard, because he hits like an absolute truck. Of course, didn't even mention his KB, coming, I believe, as well. A guard break? Yes, sir. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Disgusting. Not only safe, it's a guard break, for crying out loud. Absolute filth. So the second he soul charged, he becomes a huge threat. So, but his one weakness I also discovered is his lack of plus frames. And I'm not even talking about plus frames on block. I mean, that's just a luxury, isn't it? I'm talking about plus frames on hit. So if I have him attack me right here, the minute he becomes evadable, if I go... No, block first. Right, do nothing. And then if I go for my low, you see me block and I still get hit, which is kind of unfortunate. I think the same goes with this one. I mean, it's not punishable, but I don't get an advantage really. I mean, wait. If I go with my while standing kick, I get beaten. If I go with a down one even, excuse me, to A, which this one of the fastest pokes he has, it gets beaten as well. I mean, you could opt to go with this one right here, the 1B into AB, but the issue with that is it puts you on full screen basically again. Give me 1 second. And that's why I opt to not go with it at the end of combos. Wait, if I go like this, I don't like to be at that range necessarily, and it puts me immediately into relic. I can't even cancel that. So I'd like to, you know, 1BB it, and even though I'm minus as such, at least I'm in his face, you know. Depends on the matchup really, and if it's the corner, then of course you should go with the more damaging one, which is A plus B Ender. Right on. So what else do we have to know when it comes to Mitsurugi? Yes, some sneaky things you can implement. For example, like I said, this one, and I mean, can you really see it coming? I don't know. I mean, if you look crazy maybe, but if they block it, let's say. I mean, obviously, if not, you're good to go. But if they block it, let's see what we can still do afterwards. So I'll put him to attack me. Let's say if he goes with an BB, it trades at least with the A. But as you can see, if I go with the K, I beat him. Of course, the launching K and the release stance being punishable, but still, you're at least not at risk. Right here. I mean, it's not punishable by an BB, but with a 2A, I believe maybe even while standing 2B. But yeah, like I said, this one right here is cheeky as well. Stand normal, guard, and attack. Comes this cute frame trap, even if he blocks it. If he just doesn't, if I don't do anything, I'm cool too. But if I want to press the attack, I mean, it really is a lot about these stances, because so many things that would be maybe minus or punishable as such don't become minus and punishable all of a sudden, which is huge because, like I said, he lacks those plus frames on hit. So what else can I show you? Of course, the wall game, which is okay, because he, like I said, the frames aren't the best, but he does have one attack which grants him huge plus frames. So first of all, of course, the potential damage you can get off the wall damage. It's okay, 89 for that kind of combo. You can get more, I believe. I found a realistic high combo, I believe, being at 112, I believe. It was a counter hit combo, so take it for what it's worth. But yeah, I'm not even too concerned about the combo, but the setup, which is once again pure filth. Let him crouch block everything, and then let him attack me, I believe. Can we do this even? No, I need him to block the second hit as well. Right. So if I go for the... No, stand block, of course. If I go for the 1B, A plus B, this is very, very plus. And we love plus frames. By the way, if you don't know what frames are, it's basically the math behind the whole game. The game runs at 60 frames per second, so I always want to be plus, which means that the enemy, my opponent, is minus. And if I'm plus and he's minus, that means that I can move before he can move. So I can launch an attack while he's still recovering and forced to block. Yes. So if I go for this, and I'm right here into the relic stance, this is a trap. This is basically a frame trap and allows me for a lot of things. And at the corner, that means guard break city. Guard break city. Or it can mean, which is filth once again, unblockable damage. Look at that combo, man. Again, it's plus, and his unblockable is not that, it's not that slow. Look at it. It is not that slow. Boom, you're dead. Huge, huge combo. Absolute filth. And while he can't do some stuff about it, I mean, we know that people love to press buttons. So it can be cheeky because you don't have to go with the AB ender, because you can still do this one. It is hugely unsafe, but once again, it creates this mind game. So if they're afraid of this one, of course you can go for the 3B and launch them once again, which is of course a lethal hit as well. Lethal hits, didn't even really talk about that as such. His lethal hits, or lethal, I'm sorry, excuse me. So let's go with the B. One thing that you have to bear in mind when it comes to Mitsurugi, unfortunately his B&Bs do require some degree of execution because of his just frames. So if it's the step A, you know, or his B6, which is this one, it also lethal hits, or even this one right here, you usually always want to commit into the B plus K, and unfortunately the third hit right there, you gotta just frame it to get the most out of it. But the reward is great, because outside of the lethal hits and outside of the soul charge, Mitsurugi does lack a certain level of damage, especially if you look like people like Nightmare, Siegfried, you know, like it's you can't really compare their damage to Mitsurugi's damage. That's why you gotta work hard. And one tip I gotta give you is be patient. Slowly chip your opponent away. Slowly chip him away, and even if you get hits, just block. Just block, because I did say the thing about the lack of his hit advantage. Just block. Don't be afraid to block as Mitsurugi. Even if you get the hit and you see that you got your opponent, block. Believe me, just block and look for another opening. And like I said, once you soul charge and once you activate, go in and go hard, because that's a lot of fun. I've won so many matches just from, again, like this sort of combo. And his 236, this one right here, is very useful. Not only because the huge combo in the soul charge, but it rings out. It's absolutely beautiful. So you gotta be wary when it comes to that as well. And his ring out potential is actually huge, because obviously his foregrab, his this grab right here as well, which you can go with in the missed stance as well. His 1A, for crying out loud. I mean, why does this even ring out? I'm not sure. I'm very certain that it didn't ring out in Soul Calibur 5, did it? I'm quite sure it did not. Because this right here, I mean, you probably back in the day used to either receive, if you're watching this video, or send like messages saying 1A spammer or whatever. But this right here is now even more useful probably. Especially like, even if you don't get them with your 4A, you know, when they sidestep, the 1A will most likely get it. And if they're, you know, not wary about it and about their positioning, it'll ring them out, which is a very good feeling. I'm not gonna lie. So his ring out potential definitely there. Another frame trap you can influence. Well, it's good frames. I'm not sure if it's a true frame trap. His knee right here. It's good frames. I believe it's -2 on block. And if you go for a 2A, which is I believe -4 on block. So this sequence right here, very good. This used to be good, and it's still good. And I believe if you counter them, this one right here becomes guaranteed. A 1A, you can't okay me out of it. It's a tech trap. You can tech trap them, and I don't think you can guard at all. I'm pretty sure. I tested it in the training mode by myself. I recorded the AI to do it, and yeah, I didn't get out. So there is that. So what else can I tell you about it? Obviously his critical edge. Critical edge, I'd say, for moments when you guaranteed need the damage, which sounds probably, you know, obvious. But when it comes to his reversal edge, for example, if they try to do it, that right here, for example, becomes guaranteed. If you backdash it, which is good damage, and I believe he has one of the faster critical edges. I mean, it's very hard to stuff as such. And obviously you can do it in juggles. You can do it, which is a huge deal, sometimes against walls. Let me try to mash it. I don't think I got it. But in some instances, you can definitely get it. Oh well. By the way, guys, I'm not trying to show you a lot of combos. I did a separate combo video by itself, so I'm just trying to give you, you know, the idea behind fighting with Mitsurugi. And I believe that is all I have on my notes. So yeah, the good frames, his 6A, which is -6, yes. His 2A, 3K, yes sir. Well, another thing I could probably tell you, which is somewhat risky, when people like to run into my face, I sometimes find it hard to stuff their attempt, because sometimes, you know, you see like people like, especially females, like somewhat like go under, like profile my attempts to keep them at range. One thing I like to do is go with my 6A+B, which is this one right here, and it's risky because I believe it is unsafe, but it's cheeky, because if you range it properly, it becomes cute. It becomes cute. Let's see this. If I space it. No. Again, like I said, it becomes cute, but it's somewhat risky because you have to space it, and then it becomes good. Yeah. Again, it's all like, I think the #1 thing about Mitsurugi is spacing, I believe, because it's such a huge part of his game. Again, you shouldn't go in for free, and you shouldn't be allowed to go in for free. But yeah, that is one thing I can definitely tell you. Spacing is key as Mitsurugi. But I believe, yeah, that is roughly what you have to know, excuse me, when fighting as Mitsurugi. Like I said, week 1 guide. Just keep, you know, being cute at range, and when you're in, don't be afraid to do those things. And at the wall, definitely go ahead and abuse those plus frames. Press all the buttons. Try to be cute with your unblockable. The wall damage we've seen, and of course, Soul Charge. He becomes a different beast. Absolute beast he becomes with his... I mean, how is that even safe? It's an absolute launcher that goes into half of his life, just like that, gone. And the huge mind game between, will I go with the 3B? Will I go with the 3BB? Or will I go for the unseeable low? Look at that disgusting damage. I mean, definitely a lot of fun playing as Mitsurugi. I mean, probably not that good on the tier list, but I don't care about that at all. He could be absolute last and I would still play him. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video and you were able to learn a thing about or two about Mitsurugi. But with that being said, that's my shit for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Mitsu signing out. Peace.